Hey everyone, Zim here. Finally, something that I want to revisit again, and which I would consider good advice, at least actionable, and something that can change a little bit of mind as well. So, I wanted to say that you don't have to do anything for anyone. What I mean by that, like all of these promises that we can give to each other, they are what how can you say, like it is a promise, we have to keep it. And I have the same mindset as well, but at the same time it's good to remember that you don't actually have to go and do something, even if you promise to, even if you like bound by some contract or something like that, if that hurts your life more, hurts yourself more than would hurt if you didn't do that. So what I'm talking what I'm talking about, like for example, you made some promise, like to go somewhere, and like, just simple example, not too something too strong, right? Just something that you all probably encountered. You made a promise to meet up with someone, or to give them a ride, or something like that, right? Like to go with them and make their passage safe and all that. But at the same time, something came up and you really promised that, and that is the person really important to you. But at the same time, something's come up that, I don't know, some opportunity for your life, some opportunity for you to move somewhere or to meet with someone that will really improve your life, and maybe it will even make it worse if you don't do that. So uh, and you have to kind of cancel the plans, but you already promised that. And here is the good thing to measure the outcomes that can be. Don't just blindly go into, oh, I am this person that always makes the promises, like I always fulfills the promises, and I'm gonna go with it no matter what it will cost me. Because it may be just a financial cost, it may be physical cost, something like it may even endanger your life or something. But I see a lot of people, especially in my culture that I left behind, who, which prompted exactly this episode, who on some weird idea that they have to, that they should pay up for something that other people, for something that country given them, for something like that. They should, like, they should pay up their debt no matter the cost, no matter, even if it like endangers their lives as well, and their well-being and all of that. It just seems such a bullshit for me. So I wanted to talk about this. And I created an example of just some interpersonal communication, but it may be higher. Like I said, you can feel like you're indebted to some, you know, some organization, some group of people, some countries, to the world, for example, right? You live here on this world, this, you use up resources, so you have to pay up for that in some way, you have to make it count and all that. That seems like a good line of thinking, and probably it actually helps. But at the same time, does it actually help your life? It may help everyone as a whole, but you need to ask yourself if that pursuit actually, what it actually gives you. Because at the end of the day, you will be with yourself first and foremost. You can Devote yourself to society, to the world, to the people, to the world after your death, to something higher than you that you won't know. It won't affect. If it makes your life better right now, feeling like you're devoting it to something, that's good. Then follow that. But don't confuse it with feeling that you have to do that. You don't have to do anything. Even if you have some contract, even if there is some law binding you to that, even if you lose a lot by following up with some contract that you really don't want to follow, measure this, put it on a scale. What will hurt you by breaking this contract, spoken or law contract or something like that, or how it will hurt you by following up with it? That applies to everything, to just minor words that you say to someone and you think you have to follow up on them, or these big beliefs that that you get I forgot the word, indoctrinated with from the very time you were born, and you have the strangest idea that, for example, with parents, the same thing can be applied as well. You may think that you have to pay up the debt. They invested so much into you, they gave you so much and all that. The family focus. You have to sacrifice yourself a little bit because they sacrifice themselves. But you're forgetting one thing in that, if you think about it like that. When they chose to raise you and all that and to invest so much into you, they already got so much then. Like the transaction is already concluded. I don't remember from who I heard this phrase. Maybe from Andy, maybe from someone else. But it was about like when something is when you have some sort of communication with someone, when you give something to someone, to some person, when you decide on something, the transaction is concluded in that moment. You can follow up on that if you promise something, and you will gain trust, you will gain probably something good with that person, maybe some gains from that as well. Like, it depends on the thing you promised them. Maybe you will get loyalty back and you can rely on them after. But that's another transaction that will come up. That first one, even if someone did a lot for you and all you did was promise something, it is already concluded. But usually it's not even like that. Usually you exchange something in the middle. For example, if someone raises you, like the child and parents relationship, they wanted to raise you. They wanted to get this in some way. They may think that they need you to support them all their life and all that. They may have these ideas, and it may not get fulfilled. Oh well, tough luck. But in the moment, that was already when you were raised, when you were in your childhood and you were taken care of. They got this satisfaction of caring about you, of these dreams, of everything like that. It is the transaction in the moment that was concluded already. You are not indebted to anyone in your life at all. Nothing. There may be consequences to that. You have to be okay with consequences if you chose not to break some promises, to break some contracts and all that, of course, obviously. But it doesn't make you a bad person because of that. Like, It may make you a bad person in the eyes of half of the world. It doesn't make you a bad person objectively in your own eyes. And it all depends on how you will look at it. So I just wanted you to be aware of and don't get stuck into this loop of I have to pay back for everything that was given to me. You don't have to. You can if it makes you feel better. You can also do that if it will make your life feel miserable if you don't do that. That's probably the reason why we go up on our promises, because we're afraid of what's going to happen if we don't do that. But again, measure this. There are no rules, like I said already, specific rules. You create them, and you create them at every moment. And no matter what happened in the past, decide every time when it comes up if it actually adds to your life in a short run, in a long run, whatever. But don't rely on this superficial thought that I have to pay back for something that was done for me. You don't have to do anything like that. So be aware of that. I'm not asking you to be an asshole and always break your promises. That will probably hurt your life even more. That's what I'm talking about here. If you look at it, most of the things that we, most of these promises, contracts, and all that, it actually adds a lot to our life to follow that, to follow on. We get trust with other people, we connect to people, we get financial rewards, we get emotional rewards, we get so much out of it. So most of the times, even if you feel you don't have to do that, you will still choose to follow that promise you make in one way or another. Just don't blindly follow this idea. Another form of manipulation that I stumble a lot lately, that um, people will say, if you don't do insert something, you will not be good person, you will not be a man, you will not be a kind human being, you're a bad person because you don't care about like environment, health, whatever, other people, well-being, you're not empathetic, like all of this. And it's a form of manipulation because we are all in our hearts want to be liked by as much people as we can, even if we're aware enough to not get us control that, but it feels good. Or maybe just by our internal sense of what is right and we need to follow this. But it can be used to manipulate you. All of these ads that present to you the version of oh, your life sucks, here how to make it better. This product will make it better, or sign up for this, like work in this field or something like that. And that is what you have to do. That will make you feel, make not even feel, they don't care about you. They say like, oh, you should follow this template that society created for you, or government created for you, or we just as a company created for you, and you have to follow that, or you're an outcast, you're not, we don't like you then. That's gonna be true. If you go against something that society wants, again, like I encounter that so much living in traditional country which has a lot of family focus, a lot of like, these monogamous relationships and all of this dating structure focused on that. There are not many people who think in different terms like me. And I encounter this a lot here. A lot of not understanding, judgment, all that. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Will you follow the rules that society laid out for you? Or whoever it is that you want to follow? Some random company or even some random person that you promised something. It may feel bad when you go against all of them, against these groups, or against that person that you don't want, so they would think you don't want to be in a place that they would think bad of you or something like that. It can feel bad at the start when you break that promise or go against it or choose yourself, put yourself first, don't care about anything. People will call you awful person, a douchebag. People will call you a coward, immature, something like that. Like you're a egotistical person who chooses yourself. Yeah, that's what you should do actually. Because again, you're the only person that will be with yourself until the very end. No one else. Nothing else. Only you. Only your mind and only what choices you made in life. So choose something that actually enriches your life. Don't follow templates. They don't serve any purpose. So yeah, be aware of that. I'm glad I recorded this thing. I was really bummed by... I usually try to not get into global stuff with politics, with all that, but some of the things that I've been hearing lately, I it just bums me. It just blows my mind how some people can ruin their lives on the idea that they will not be covered or something like that, or just some random feeling instilled to them by the society they live in, by the people around them, by the every source of media they can listen to. They don't have their own opinion. They care about what others think of them. And while I am like that still in some specific interactions, I would really care what people think when I go to meetups. I cannot just say what I want and like, alienate someone and don't go there ever again because they hate me now. I do care a lot about that. Dates as well, friends, lovers, all that. And also the places that I live in and people I am in contact with. But when the question comes between your well-being, literally your life, or your normal functioning, when it's at risk, sometimes it just baffles me how people don't care about this stuff. They think about the higher purpose. Put yourself first and foremost, and when you have the resources, give them to whoever you want. Make the life better, make the world better, help people. Definitely do all of that. It feels awesome, but do that for yourself first and foremost. Don't sacrifice yourself. Don't be that pariah that I think I misspelled that word, but misused that word, but I mean, don't be that person who will sacrifice themselves for some random, maybe not random, but for some people. Put yourself first, and that will make your life better. That will allow you to help more people, that will allow you to actually enrich the world and not just disappear and don't do anything. That is the better waste of time and resources. Just imagine how much effort and time just was invested into you by everyone, by yourself as well. Doesn't matter by whom, just like a collective investment. So don't treat it lightly. It is your best gift towards the world is put yourself first, protect yourself, make your life better. Because then you enrich all of this effort that was already put in, even if that goes against some ideas that other people can have on your life. They want to sacrifice you, they want you to sacrifice, they want you to hurt yourself for their benefit, for some idea. Don't listen to that bullshit. You're your own person, and you can choose something that is right for you, and that is the only thing that matters. So do that and make your life an awesome thing. You deserve anything that you want. Think about it. Think about what you actually want your life look like and make it happen. So I'm gonna leave you here. I'm wishing you good luck, giving you all the energy that you need. Really do. And want you to succeed. Go and make that happen.